What's up, fellas? You already know who it is. It's your boy Irvin Sue, and tonight's topic is the power of silence. Now, you might be going, the power of silence, the hell? This is quite broad, quite vague. What exactly are you talking about here? Well, haven't you heard? The silence is deafening. But truly, if you've got nothing nice to say, if you got nothing good to say, just keep quiet. And more often than not, things will unfold the way it should. And to your favor. Let me elaborate. You see, when it comes down to arguments, you should never really engage in any argument. But I understand that is a factor of life. Arguments are unavoidable, especially when things get heated between you and your girlfriend. Especially so if it's the opposite sex that you're dealing with. You see, women, when they're emotional, well, trust me, they're riding the roller coaster. And best believe they want you to get on that ride with them. But you can't play that game, because once you join in, you lost. The best way to handle the situation is simply to diffuse. Because if you add fuel to the flame, it's like handling a petulant child. Do you join in and argue with them? Of course not. You know they're a kid. The argument makes no sense. They're kicking and screaming. You're certainly not going to sit them down and start explaining to them why their actions are wrong, why they shouldn't be doing this and that. How you handle an angry, crying kid is how you handle a woman who is trying to drag you into an argument, who is upset with you, angry. It's the same thing. At the end of the day, our bodies may change, we may get older, but once we get emotional, we get mad, we get angry, it's all the same. A 2-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 20, 30, 50-year-old throwing a tantrum. Come on now. There is no damn difference. Yeah, perhaps we will use more advanced vocabulary, but that's about it. We're still trying to hurt the other with our verbal abuse. This jousting between grown people and men is more or less the same as two kids yelling and screaming at each other. That is why the quickest way to stop all that is to nip it in the bud, to cut the energy right at its source. Hey, after all, how can you have an argument when there's nobody else to participate? You can't have an argument with yourself. So when you sense that coming, just shut up. Walk away. Come back later. That's how you treat a kid. You have to come back later. Once they have cooled down, then you can begin negotiations. You can begin reasoning with them, telling them what was wrong, what was the issue, and then working things out. But when you're trying to do that, when they're riding that high, when they're still pissed off, ain't nobody is listening to you, alright? You already know that. How many times has the opposition told you, listen, you're overreacting, calm down? Oh, trust me, these two phrases you never use against anyone who's mad, who's pissed off. Those are straight up gasoline words. Haven't you noticed when you walk away, you give them the silent treatment? And it's not because it's a tactic. You have to understand that. These are not techniques to manipulate people. You're merely trying to avoid conflict. And that in of itself is a noble cause. How can anyone blame you for walking away? And that is why a lot of times they come back. They'll hit you up, call you, be like, listen, I'm sorry. I was out of line, out of character for that. They will tell you that. They will apologize. Let's say even if you did make the mistake, you did commit that error, you instigated, they'll be open to reasoning. They'll be like, the way I reacted, that was wrong of me. But they point out what you did wrong. You two can become close once again. Reconvene. Continue negotiations and work things out. But the power of silence cannot be stressed enough. Because being able to walk away shows many positive characteristics, many traits. You're cool, calm, and collected under pressure. You can keep a rational sense of mind. And you all know, a woman wants to have a rock solid man with a rock solid frame. How can she trust you if you can become as unhinged as her? When she's in a panic, throwing a fit, crying, you're supposed to be that figure, that unmovable figure that just stands there and go, baby, I got this. I can handle it. I can weather the storm. Just stand behind me. And that's how you gotta do it when she's the one instigating you. You have to take it as, hey, she's merely testing me. She wants to test my mettle to see if I still got it, if I still have the cojones. Can you still be trusted when shit really hits the fan from other people? Will you be there to protect her? That's how it should be. I've seen many cases where spouses are always arguing with each other. And I know you wonder to yourself, what is the point? What is the purpose? What does it accomplish in the end? It goes nowhere. Everyone is at a standstill. It only serves to breed contempt. And let me tell you, like I said, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Because you can't take back things that come out of your mouth. Once people hear things, they can't unhear it. Sure, as a man, you're more open to reason. to logic. We all know. You say things in the heat of the moment just to get a rise out of them, to hurt them. But why would you say those specific words? Why would you poke that chink in the armor, that weakness? That's because you know where it hurts. Otherwise, you could say anything. For example, a fat guy. Would you say, you're just so vain. You're so full of yourself. All you got is looks. And a fat guy, out of shape guy's like, huh? Okay. Like the insult is so far off. Such an opposite. 180. It simply doesn't make sense. They can't relate to it. But if they grew up always being fat and you poke fun of them, it's like, that's why you're always so out of shape. That's why you're a lazy sack of shit. Oh, now that's gonna hurt. Especially when you poke at their childhood insecurities. And there are many types of insecurities. You could be poor and people will poke fun of you. It's like, yeah, he doesn't have any money. He's too poor. That's why you can't do anything in life. Or, if you come from money, that's why you're a trust fund baby. You never worked a day in your life. You didn't earn a damn thing. Anything can be used as collateral, as ammunition. It all depends on the person's specific trauma, insecurities, what they were made fun of growing up, what they fear and want to change even as an adult. If you know their weaknesses, you'll get them. And that is why these words matter. Because even if you say you exaggerated the heat of the moment, they bear some truth. They originate from an insecurity that you know they have. You merely took a magnifying glass to it and magnified it exponentially. They'll never forget. You've heard of the words. They'll forgive, but they'll never forget. And trust me, when it comes to arguing with a woman, once you let go and say those things, they'll never forget that, and they'll bring it up to use in the future for the counterattack. And that is why it is crucial that you never be caught off guard. You should always practice self-control. And I understand people that you live with long enough, maybe it's your spouse, perhaps even your parents, they just know how to drive that wedge into you to really poke at things that they know will piss you off. Trust me, I've been there. Especially parents, they just say the most annoying, irritating things. Somehow it always gets to you. Why is that? It's because they've been nagging you the same way, at the same thing, ever since you were a baby, ever since you grew up. And the same can be said when you get into arguments with friends, close friends, your girlfriend, your spouse. They know exactly what hurts you the most. That is why when you're engaging in a verbal spat with strangers, like a bum on the street, You don't care. What words do they hold? What weight? Some random irrelevant guy, like, he's crazy. He starts saying crazy stuff to you, it's like, yeah, whatever. Cool. Go about your way. When it comes to people that are important to you, that you hold their opinions to a certain degree of value, then of course what they say, you're gonna go, oh shit, that hurts. But you can't fight fire with fire. All you can do is to walk away and trust and believe that once things cool off, they just might be the ones coming back and going, listen, I'm sorry. And hey, even if you initiate the reconciliation, the apology, they'll be open to it because you allowed them space to cool down. So I hope you guys learned something tonight. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.